Third Phase of Moon. Going live right now. It's June 29, 2016, and we're doing this by popular demand. People want to get more information out. They want to talk. They want to share. The world is waking up that we're not alone, and you know what? Quite frankly, Friday's shows might not be enough to get the word out, so that's why we did this impromptu radio show tonight, and wow, the people are lighting up. We got a lot of phone calls coming in. I bet you we got a lot of great encounters. That's what it's all about right here at Third Phase of Moon. We got area codes from 606-323-7052. It's building up. You want to share your UFO story to the world? Call in tonight, right now, 347-934-0378. Third Phase of Moon Radio is just about to get started. Hang on, everybody. Hello, you there? 817, you're live, Third Phase.
Hey, Blake.
Hey, how's it going? Where are you calling in from? What's your name?
This is Jay in Nicholson. We're calling from Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, there's some reverb. I want to get you loud and clear. Let's do an audio test. See how you're coming in, sir.
Okay, can you hear me?
Gotcha. I got you good. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, yeah, we have an abduction story to tell you.
Wow. That's what Third Phase Moon audience members and I love. I love that stuff. Look, okay, when and where? When and where? In your name again?
Okay, this happened on May the 16th.
What year?
Of this year.
A recent alien abduction. And we're live right now.
I've had contact with, and I went to the Roswell Job Corps, and I was part of the Disclosure Project in 2001 with Stephen Greer, David Adair, and Clifford Stone, and I haven't had contact for quite a few years. And I recently just got married, and my wife's pregnant, and we had a abduction in our house, in our apartment, of this year. And it was really bizarre. Okay, let's
break it down. Let's start in the beginning of the day. Anything unusual when that day started?
Nothing out of the unusual. No.
Okay, so how did the day proceed? Go ahead.
It's just okay. Well, that night when I woke up, when I came to the room, my wife said I was gone, and when I walked back into the room, she was startled that I was coming into the room because she thought I was in bed. And I woke up screaming, and I thought I seen a star chart in my hand in the kitchen. Well, when I woke up, I knew that something had happened to me because I thought it was a dream. Well,
wait, hold on. When I woke up, wait, you saw a star chart in your hand? What do you mean? Explain this to us, please.
Okay, whenever I came back from my encounter, I was standing in the kitchen in the dark. Well, I had a star chart inside of my hand, in my left hand, which is really bizarre. I've never been able to duplicate it. I'm an artist too. I've tried to draw it. There's no way I could possibly duplicate it. When I woke up in the bedroom, I didn't actually wake up. I woke up telling my wife that I had a really scary dream, and everything kind of unfolded as it happened. My wife had bruises on her arms. My son had bruises on his stomach, and I have in his back the circular bruises on him, and I had a very strange anomaly inside of my hand, my right hand.
Okay, hold on. Let's back it up. So it was a violent attack on the whole family?
Yes, very violent.
The whole family?
It started, yes, my whole entire family. Well, I believe that they got my wife first because whenever I woke up and they were inside my room in my apartment, I began freaking out and screaming and trying to fight them. And like I said, when I was younger, I've had experiences with these beings when I was younger, but it's always been like a female being that's over the rest of them. But this time it wasn't. It was a male being that was standing in the corner of our apartment, and he was wearing a cloak, like a Harry Potter type cloak, in the corner of our apartment. Yeah, and he was still in the apartment when we came back. Well, my wife, when she got up to use the bathroom, she said that something told her to go to the kitchen to look at the clock in the kitchen. And when I woke up, I knew that I had been gone for a while, and I have a nose piercing. My nose piercing was closed up already, and my nose piercing does not close for days. And my nose was closed, and I felt like I'd been gone for a long time.
Man, this is so. What did affect? What's your wife? And you have some kids that were attacked.
Yeah, my 2-year-old son.
2-year-old.
Mhm.
Now what do you do? Now, what are you going to do at this point? Because, you know, what did your wife think? What was the first thought that came to your
I'm
mind?
going to put my wife on the phone and let you talk to her.
Well, absolutely.
Would you like to? Okay. It's my wife, Felicia.
Sure.
Hello.
Hey, Felicia. Wow.
It's Alicia.
Thanks for joining. Alicia?
Yeah.
Alicia, yeah. Thanks for calling in. And
no
your
problem.
husband, this is quite amazing. I've never heard multiple attacks in one night in regards to this kind of phenomenon. You guys have no idea what happened. What do you think happened? What do you think happened, Alicia? What was let's hear your side.
Well, I've never had any type of experience like this before, and there have been a lot of other coincidences that led up to JT and I meeting. Before we met each other, like probably a week or so before we met each other, he had captured a photograph of a UFO on his phone. What? 7 pictures of it.
Okay.
And it was when he was at work, which was right down the street from my apartment. Well, then we met each other, and
what did the pictures look like, Alicia? What are those 7 photographs of the?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I want to hear her story, but yeah, let's start off with those 7 photographs.
Okay, I have 7 photos on my phone of a UFO. I don't know how to describe it. It's liquid. I got a picture of liquid UFO that hovered like 200 feet in front of me, in front of my job, with multiple witnesses, and then it took off. But it wasn't like a metal object. It was like liquid, and it was bright pink and purple and red and blues But I have definite pictures on my phone. I have 7 pictures of it. And they were all taken within 30 seconds. It took off.
Sure would like to see that. I'd like to see that. Share that on Facebook. So let's get back. I want to get more of Alicia's statements here. So your husband shared 7 photos to you. And then something happened. Go ahead.
The night specifically that he's talking about, I remember, like, I sleep pretty deeply at times, you know, but all I remember is that all of a sudden, like, I was kind of, like, brought to, like, I was awake all of a sudden. And I got up and I went to the bathroom, and then when I was leaving the bathroom, our bedroom door is, like, right next to the bathroom door, and it would have been a quick left. My phone was in there where I could have checked the time. I was like, man, I wonder what time it is. But something told me that I needed to go into the kitchen and check the clock in the kitchen. So I turned right and went down to the kitchen and looked at the clock, and it said in the morning. And then I turned back around and walked down the hallway, walked into our room, and I look in the bed, and I get in bed, and all I see is really a lump. Like, I just assumed that JT was in the bed. But when I got in the bed, I didn't actually feel him in the bed with me. And then all of a sudden, like, 10 minutes later, he was walking into the bedroom. So he wasn't in the bed with me. And then that's when he walked in and was like, I've been gone.
Okay, hold on.
Hello? That's when he walked into the bedroom.
There's a lump in the bed. You think it's your husband, and it's not.
Right.
Your husband in the bed.
I see where the covers are, where it looks like there's a form. There's some human form in the bed next to me. I don't necessarily see hair or anything like that, but where he lays, like, there was definition of something there. So I just get back in the bed, but usually when I get back in bed, he backs right up next to me, seeing each other all night long, and he didn't do that. And then all of a sudden, maybe about 10 minutes had passed, maybe I'm not sure on the definite time of that. And then he walked into the bedroom, in through the bedroom door, and he was saying some things that I really wasn't understanding, because for whatever reason I was feeling really groggy and kind of out of it. And then he sat down on the bed and laid down and then sat straight up again. It was like, I've been gone for so long. Where's my nose ring? And then he started looking around in the bed for his nose ring. I found it, and he couldn't get it back in his nose. So, and his nose.
Talking about the star chart.
Yeah, and he was talking about the star chart on his hand. And then we got up and went into the kitchen, and there was this hard, pointed item in his hand, in the palm of his hand, and I felt it. He felt it. I could see, like, where it was protruding out of his skin slightly, like it made a white dot. And then it went away right when we started talking about it. And then he went and got in the shower.
Wow. Go ahead. Sorry.
And then he went and got in the shower to rinse off, and it had come back again, and he was all filmy and slimy. And that hard piece was in his palm again, and then he called me into the bathroom. I went in there, and then it went away again, and it was gone. But there was a dot, like a significant mark where it was, like it looked like an incision mark. On top of that, I had burn marks on my scalp, like scabs that were not there before I laid down to go to bed. And then also I had like circular bruises and specific spots on my wrist and some scratches. And then when he got out of the shower, because obviously I'm concerned about it, if still obviously something happened to us, to make sure that he was okay. Because there was something telling me not to go in to our son's bedroom. Like, I couldn't go in there. There was something keeping me from going in there. And he went in there to check on him, and he was crouched in the corner of his crib, like somebody had placed him down, like set him in there. And that's not how he sleeps. He usually sleeps sprawled out or with a blanket over his face, and he was like, it looked like somebody sat him up in the corner of his bed.
So this is an intrusion. There's an intrusion going on. There's something in your home right now doing things that it's definitely doesn't sound human. It's whatever this thing was. No. What makes you think it wasn't a human?
Well, like JT said, the bruises that were left on Gage, they were circular, and there were two of them, and they were spaced perfectly apart, the same diameter apart, but too far apart to be any type of human mark. After this had happened and we came back to bed to lay down to try and get some sleep, he was telling me about the being that he had seen in the corner of the room and the cloak over it. Well, I'm pretty sensitive to energy as far as like in spaces, and as far as like what our space feels like in our room. I'd had some prior instances to this situation that had happened of feeling things around me that hadn't normally been there, and I had seen the figure in the corner of the room. It was still there. There was nothing I could do about it. It was just like standing in the corner of the room, almost its head touching the ceiling of our bedroom. It was extremely tall, and it wasn't a figure of anything human-like. It wasn't like an entity or anything like that. Like, there was a definition, like definitively there was something over in the corner of our bedroom.
Let me ask you this. And when something gets close like that, in your own house or whatever, you go into almost defensive panic mode. And did you think about, were you yelling, get out of here? What are you doing here? What was your response?
Well,
was
this is another situation where, JT and I talked about it. Like, I was laying down in bed, and every time I would close my eyes, I was getting shooting beams of light, like straight across from edge of my eye to the center. So I had to leave my eyes open for a while, and then eventually, like, it just kind of wasn't there anymore.
Most of my stuff I wrote down.
So as far as that was concerned, it wasn't, even though I knew it was there, it wasn't giving off an aggressive presence.
I got you. Okay.
Like that, it wasn't like I felt threatened by it being in the corner of the room. It just made me uncomfortable.
But then later there's an attack. Okay, so how do you guys, it seems it's weird because you feel comfortable, but then the next day, you got these bruises on your body that you can't explain. Let me get your husband back on the radio, and I want to ask him
about.
Hey,
Blake, I'm here.
Yep. Okay, so you're in the bathroom, and you're having this. What was protruding out of your skin from within the skin? But I want to hear more detail on this. The lump.
The object in my hand, it left a scar on my hand for about a week, and it was a really sharp incision mark inside my hand, and it felt like a pencil lead at first, but we felt it there. I mean, it was sticking out of my hand, and like she said, I went in and I took a shower. I felt really gross. I felt really groggy and tired. I went and took a shower, and I felt like there was slime on me, and I stunk like garbage in a way. And I told her, I was like, hey, you need to come here and feel this in my hand again. And she came in there and felt my hand, and you could still feel it in my hand. And we watched it go away. Like it buried itself in my hand, and we haven't been able to feel it since. And I've pressed down really hard, and it's just completely gone. And it was like big time.
It's trying to hide. It's making an evasive maneuver. It's trying to hide from you messing around with this thing, whatever it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she just pulled out this note. Whenever I came back and I was in the kitchen, when I was still kind of asleep and still groggy, I saw a star chart inside my hand. That was very, very detailed star chart in my hand. And I was mesmerized by it. Well, I told her I wrote on a piece of paper. I don't even remember writing this. It says star chart on my palm and knee. No, I don't remember the star chart on my knee. And it says, the next one says the 10th, and then it says the pictures. And I do remember that during my encounter with these beings, I kept reliving over and over an episode that I had when I was younger with my little brother when I was in the tent, because the covers my wife woke up because the covers kept getting ripped off her. And whenever I was young, I was like 10 years old as a boy in Nacogdoches with my family camping, hunting actually, and there was a being outside of the tent, and he kept ripping off the covers off me and telling me to come outside of the tent. And that night, I kept reliving that over and over. And it's also wrote down. It says the tent, it says the pictures, and star chart on my palm and knee.
There's something about the star chart that there's some significance to it. Let me back up a little bit, and let's get back to your son, your 2-year-old son. And is he the same after this event? What's the deal with him? How's he doing?
After this event, he was really calm and really quiet for a while. Really calm, like abnormally calm and quiet for a good week or two. But I also documented all the bruises on my wife's wrist and the bruises on his back, the circular bruises on his back. We documented everything. We took pictures of my hand. I've got pictures of the UFO that I've seen outside of my job, like months before this. And this incident happened on May 16th. And it's been really calm around the house since then. But also, Blake, I need to tell you that the night that this happened, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up to seeing these beings around my bed, and I screamed, and I fought. Well, during the scream and the fight, I'm surprised because we live upstairs in an apartment. I tell my wife there's no way that these beings could have come inside our apartment and taken us out of here around all of our neighbors. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's not, they have to have some kind of crazy technology to do this. Well, we sit down and we ask multiple neighbors about this night. Hey, did y'all hear anything last night? Was there anything out of ordinary that happened around here last night? And all of our neighbors said that they heard us screaming over here. But my wife didn't hear me scream. But all of the neighbors on my right side and downstairs on the left side, they heard us screaming at 3 o'clock in the morning.
So, okay, incredible, scary, very concerning. Because let me tell you, if this happened to anybody, think about it yourself, people. If it happened to you, trust me, you wouldn't be able to handle it in the logical way. So this gets quite intense. So now, what? How does this conclude? So everything, there's this one night, everything's, as they would say, fine on the ranch?
Yeah, everything's been fine since then. It's just, like you said, the star chart, I feel there's more to the star chart of why I had something like that inside my hand. The thing inside my hand with the implant, and just how it happened. I just wanted to share my story with other people, let everybody know that, you know, it happens to a lot of us. It is scary. It's concerning. I don't know why it's happening.
Did you think about calling law enforcement?
He asked if we thought about calling law enforcement. Honestly, no, because we called our friends, we called our family, I called my brother, we called everyone that we're close to and told them everything. And we documented it all with pictures. But it's more like something out of a sci-fi movie. It's something you have to just kind of deal with.
What are the police going to help you out with? And then things get complicated. You guys are both stating you guys didn't harm each other, obviously. There's something that intruded into your home. You can't explain what it was. It's not there anymore. There's no trace evidence. You know, it's something that it seemed extraterrestrial because you're dealing with the star chart and the shower, all of the stuff at the same time. So, I could understand
so much different evidence. It didn't leave anything behind as far as physical evidence, but it left so much evidence behind, you know. And our plant outside was burnt up.
Well, you know what you got to do?
Radiation or some.
Keep in touch with Third Phase. You get my email address. I want you to reach out to me and make a personal contact so I know that we are in contact, because I got a feeling there's things that might happen.
Okay, I'm sure. Well, I'd like to send you those pictures.
Get the pictures to me. Get those pictures to me tonight if you can, please. To my
sure
email.
Will. And everybody that's listening, you know, you're not alone. This stuff happened to people. You're not a freak. I mean, it happened to my whole entire family. So it's scary, but, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this, man, did you hear that, people? Did you hear this? A family, almost a battery assault by aliens? Come on, people. What was their agenda? Why? What's the reason? I don't know. There's good aliens, there's bad aliens out there, people. They're not all bad. Why? I can't tell you what happened with this family. We're going to be keeping in touch with them. We're doing this live on Third Phase of Moon. It's quite an amazing call, let me tell you, people. Chew on that for a little bit. Wow. I love it. I love that people want to share their stories, so we're going to get to it right now. Let's bring them in. Let's get to area code 559. You're live to Third Phase of Moon. Welcome to the show. 559 just dropped out. We're going to back to the phone lines. Let's get to it. 606. We're live. Third Phase of Moon. Welcome to the show. Hello, 606. Do you read? All right. We're going to move on. If you want to call in, speak up. I don't know if we're getting blocked with some lines here. I'm not sure. Let's bring in more callers. There's so many building up. 309. We're live, Third Phase Moon. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Matt, glad you made it. Thanks for tuning in. Where are you calling in from, sir?
I'm in Peoria, Illinois.
All right, man. You got something you want to share tonight? What's your name?
Yeah, name is Nate. I had an experience last September. Really, it's been going on for a year now, where started last 4th of July, where I just feel like things have been shown to me, revealed to me. But last September, a lot of stuff happened as far as consciousness, awareness, waking up. A lot of people woke up, I think, at September, kind of culminated around September 28th. But I actually had an experience early September in Kansas City when I was at my dad's house. We were sitting out there on his back deck, kind of looking up at the sky, looking at the stars and stuff. And stars weren't super visible because, kind of near the city, so we couldn't see all the stars per se, but we're just kind of looking up, and I don't know, for some reason I started, forming shapes out of them just in my mind, triangular shapes, and saying, oh, there's a triangle, there's another triangle. I was kind of doing that and just, I don't know, just kind of imagining things. And I don't know, it was probably 10, 15 minutes of just kind of looking at the stars. My dad was with me. We saw 2 stars that were stationary slowly start moving into position to where they made a row of 5 stars in a straight, perfect line. So these stars literally aligned to form a row of 5, and then they just stay there for, I don't know, the rest of the night. So,
well, it's kind of amazing because coming back from, we live here on the Big Island of Hawaii, and I recall something quite the same experience that you just had. And some of these stars, they just look like stars in the sky, but all of a sudden they move in sequence and form a geometric shape in the sky and remain there. And I looked at my brother when we saw this. It was about 15 years ago, and I'm like, did you just see that? And we're both experiencing the same thing at the same time. We're really happy for the next couple months that we saw something that we can't explain. We're like, wow, yeah, we did see it. We both experienced it. So what happens next? Is there anything else that happens?
To me, that was just mind-blowing because, you're taught, when you look up at the sky, you see the moon, you see the stars, you see this, and that's what we were looking at. We were looking at stars. For 15, 20 minutes, nothing was moving. And then all of a sudden, it's like, wait, I know these are supposed to be stars. They weren't planes, they weren't blinking, they weren't flashing, they were stationary for 20 minutes. And all of a sudden, these literal stars move and form a line and then just stay there for who knows how long after that. So to me, it's like, I don't know what's up there, man. I don't know what, I don't know what to believe anymore.
Well, you know what? That's what we're trying to find out right here at Third Phase. Let me tell you, there's a lot of stars up there in the skies, billions. What a perfect place for a lot of these extraterrestrial beings to hide. And then sometimes they play games. Let me tell you, when you least expect it, when you're looking up there at the stars, you see these strange anomalies that occur. So that's a cool story. Let's get some more callers. We got them lined up. We got to get to them. Thanks for calling in, sir. Let's get to area code 424. You're live, Third Phase of Moon.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live.
Yo.
Hello?
What's going on, Blake?
How's it going, man? Where are you calling in from? What's your name?
I'm calling in from Inglewood, California. My name is Jason Wright.
Hey, Jason, welcome to the show.
Can
you get a little closer to the microphone? A little closer to your speaker. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Just had my 29th birthday.
Wait a second.
Tuesday.
Hold on a sec. That's so amazing. I was just about to say, I was born in Inglewood, and you brought up your birthday. That's quite amazing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just had my birthday not too long ago, so I'm actually pretty happy on the phone with you right now.
Were you born in Daniel Freeman Hospital? That's where I was born, at the Daniel Freeman Hospital.
No, I was born at Cedars-Sinai in Beverly Hills, California.
All right, okay, never mind. All right, we're moving along. Sorry, you got a UFO sighting you want to share? Appreciate the call, sir.
I've never actually had a UFO sighting, but I believe I've had experiences since I was young. And the one that I can really stick with me in my head from when I remember they started happening was about 3 years ago. And I don't know if it was like a lucid dream or I couldn't have been dreaming because I knew what I was feeling was like real, like it couldn't have been a dream. But the whole entire roof in my room was completely gone. And I can see all the stars everywhere. And I remember I remember everything in detail. And I can see a ship literally coming over my roof, and in a split second, I just break concentration, and I can sense like beings outside of my window.
Well, that sounds like a UFO encounter to me.
And yeah, definitely, it really freaked me out, and I know I wasn't dreaming because it just felt too surreal, you know. And next minute, I felt my body kind of like going through the wall, through the window. It's kind of hard to explain, but when I was kind of trying to, like, I understood what was going on, and I tried to fight it in my mind, and then for some reason I just blacked out, and I just woke up screaming on the top of my lungs, you know. But it's so crazy because I'm not a skeptic. I've believed in aliens all my life. I do a lot of research. I do reviews on your show and stuff like that. And I've actually, like, try and talk to them personally and invite them into my house and just into my life personally. And I know from experience from doing that, you know, if you ask for it so many times, you'll get what you want.
Yeah, you know, I put that word out. You know, if you want to have extraterrestrial encounters and you're asking them to come, be careful what you ask for, because let me tell you, it's alien. It's alien to your senses. You have no idea you can't prepare for what's going to happen next. If it does happen, let me tell you, your senses, your brain, it's not calibrated to even comprehend an alien encounter. Let me tell you, people. So be careful. And let me tell you, I want to see them. I'm ready. I've seen crazy stuff, so it's kind of cool to open the senses up. That's what people need to do, open their senses up. We got an anonymous caller calling in. Let's see who it is. If you're there, say hello.
Yeah, how you doing today? Tonight.
Pretty good, man. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Michael.
Hey, Michael, welcome to the show. Where are you calling in from, sir?
I'm calling from South Carolina.
All right. Well, we got callers from all around the world. Let me tell you, we just decided to do an impromptu radio show, and I'm happy that people respond to this because they want to share their story. You got a story you want to share to the world right now? Go ahead.
Well, it's pretty a lot. You know, people are having all these experiences and stuff, and there's a reason why the people are having this experience. You know, there's things out here our government doesn't tell us about, but they knew all the time and who they're working with and what species they're working with. And there's a fight going on. There's a fight over our spiritual mortality that these species, you want to call them grays, reptilians. You know, there's a war going on. And they're getting their final plans ready to take over. You know, it's kind of funny if you watched the movie came out the other day, Independence Day.
Yeah, sure. The sequel.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. The president was a woman, you know, kind of like Hillary Clinton. You know, there's a lot of conspiracies going on that our government had signed treaties with these grays. I think it's back in the 40s. I think Eisenhower, Dwight. And what happened was they gave us technology for them to abduct people, certain people on a list. The government already had a list of people that these grays can go abduct them. But the Greys broke the treaty with the United States government. And so the government has been in war with them underground. There's underground bases that some of these Greys stay at in America. And there's the big city, underground cities. I mean, and there's a war. We just have to prepare ourselves by opening up your third eye. Your spiritual higher self, where your higher self is everything to fight these beings, whatever you want to call them, demons, species, but they're not here for the human intent. They're here to destroy. They're like harvesters. They go from planet to planet doing this. This is nothing new. This happened to Mars. You know, they go to planet and enslave humans. You know, it's crazy. It's way out there for certain people to understand, but it's reality.
Yeah. You know, there is a reality going on, obviously. There's just so much evidence out there that something big, I mean, real big is going on. And it's been going on for a long time, but the big powers that be want to suppress it all. They want to hide it from us. But the public isn't going to let that happen. There's just too much going on out there right now. Too many cameras, too many eyewitnesses, too many people coming forward and talking like you. So that's quite amazing. We got so many callers in tonight. Wow, I'm so glad we did this. Let's get to some more of them. Thanks for calling in, sir. Keep your eyes on the skies, and we'll, you know, it's definitely something that the world needs to unite together as one. And I don't think it's a war against us. I think it's a war within powers that be. So let's get to it. 226, you're live. Third Phase of Moon. Hello?
Hey, how's it going, bud?
Hey, pretty good, man. Where are you calling in from, sir?
I'm calling in from London, Ontario. I'd called in a couple times before.
Oh, wow. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks very much, man.
What was your name?
Stan.
Hey, Stan. Stan the man. He's back. Third Phase of Moon, and we're live, rolling. What's been going on?
Yeah.
Anything?
Nothing really too much lately, but I wanted to call in and listen. I was going to get you guys on the blog talk radio. But I did want to say, like, I didn't know if you were able to, like, ask Jack things like that. That's kind of what I wanted to do.
I wish Jack was here. Yeah, Jack is, you know, having his issues. I don't like pressuring the guy whatsoever. I don't pressure that guy. People say, why don't you call him back? You should go to the ranch. Let me tell you, I'll go to the ranch tomorrow if he invites me. So
yeah, that would be amazing.
I know. That'd be. I got a feeling it would be one of the most incredible things. Hey man, there's so much callers coming in, and that's how it rolls with people when they submit. If they want to submit videos, they want to share their stories, we're always open. Call in, invite, give the evidence. Please, it's cool. Ask the questions, people. Ask the questions. We got people holding on for 34 minutes now, and that's how long we've been live right now. So let's get to this person right now. Thanks for holding on. Check it out, people. We're live, Third Phase of Moon. Let's get to it. We got a few callers, and they're lining up. So I think we only got time for one more, people, because what we just heard right there was one of the most shocking statements I've heard in a long time. And you could hear it in their voices, people. This family's concerned. Something happened to them, and their friends and family are backing them up. Let's hope we could get the photographic evidence. We're going to go to area code 323. You're the last caller. Huh? You made it. Yep, you. What's your name, sir?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Hey,
You're
good
live.
evening. How's it going, Blake?
Hey, doing good, Matt. Doing good. I just heard this story. Welcome to the show. I'm kind of.
Hey, I just want to say, first of all, I've never really been big fan of the UFOs. I didn't believe in any of that before.
Okay. You're coming in a little chopped up, but thanks for joining us. So you never believed in UFOs?
That's them. They be interrupting my call. That's what I was trying to say. It's part of the situation right now.
So now, you didn't believe in UFOs. Now they're jamming your phone signal. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. It all started last year in November. I had some encounter outside like about 4:30 or 5 a.m. I believe. There was these things that came from the sky. They were like hovering, and they were slowly descending about, like, you could say about 6 feet down, and it'll ascend like 3 feet up. So it looked like it wasn't in motion, but slowly it was moving down and down.
Then what happened?
Well, it looked like a lantern. It looked like a turned off brake light. It was coming from the sky. you know. And I wasn't able to understand what it was. We were paying attention to it. We thought it was a drone in the beginning, so we didn't pay attention to it. We left it alone. So then across the street, we saw like this big light. I'm sorry,
He's breaking up. He's out. Dropped. Anyway. You know what, people? It's been an incredible show tonight. I'm so glad people made it. Because we might do this more often. Stay tuned to Third Phase Moon for, impromptu radio shows. Because you never know what you're going to hear when the public calls in. It is pretty much disclosure live as it happens to the world. People call in, share their experiences. As always, Blake Cousins, Third Phase Moon reporting. Call in Friday. Again, if you've got something that you want to share, we'll be here. And it will be 12 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Everybody stay tuned to Third Phase of Moon YouTube because I got a feeling we got some incredible stuff. Brett was telling me we got a lot of emails coming in and some Facebook submissions, so stay tuned for that, people. Blake Cousins. Keep your eyes on the skies, everybody. Thanks for joining me.